Aloha, everyone. My name is Pia Arboleda, Interim Director of the Center for Southeast Asian Studies. On behalf of the Center for Southeast Asian Studies, welcome to the final LuceSEA seminar for Spring 2025. We will resume our webinar series in September 2025. It is my honor today to introduce our moderator, who obtained his PhD in ethnomusicology from the University of Hawaii. His research areas include Benguet, Kankanai, Tagalog, and Filipino hip-hop. He received his bachelor's and master's degree in composition from the University of the Philippines. He is a professor for musicology at the University of the Philippines College of Music. As the director of the UP Center of Ethnomusicology, he leads Recollection, a flagship program that revisits, repatriates, and recollects music from the research sites of UPCE founder and renowned ethnomusicologist Jose Maceda. He also spearheaded establishing community documentation centers in far-flung localities in the country. Aside from being the UPCE director, he is currently vice chair of UNESCO Memory of the World National Committee since 2022. He has written for various media, and his most recent large work is Putri Anak, Isang Bagong Komedya, a theater piece that premiered at the Cultural Center of the Philippines in 2017. The work fuses the Philippines' Spanish colonial genre called comedia with Southeast Asian stylistic elements. Dear friends, please welcome Professor Verne de la Peña. I turn it over to you, Kuya Verne.
Thank you, Director Pia. And good afternoon, good morning for us on this side of the world to everyone. Today's webinar focuses on the intersection of the arts and environmental issues as reflected in local communities that depend on natural resources for their traditional arts. Climate change, migration, lifestyle changes, and degradation of the natural environment is forcing changes on the practice of traditional arts. Activists, cultural bearers, practitioners, and scholars are documenting the impact of environmental changes on traditional cultural practices, including the community responses and agency. Our first speaker for today, we shall have three, is Dr. Clare Suet Ching Chan, who is Associate Professor in the Music Department at Universiti Putra, Malaysia in Serdang. Dr. Chan graduated from the University of Hawaii with her PhD in ethnomusicology in 2010 and an MA in ethnomusicology from University Science Malaysia in 2001. She was the chief editor of the Malaysian Journal of Music until 2021 and is the author of Song of Ecology, Community and Indigenous Values, the Mahmeri of Peninsular Malaysia, published by University Malaya Press in 2022. Please welcome Dr. Clare Suet Ching Chan.
Hello, good morning, everyone from here. It's morning now, 9 a.m. I'll just share my slides now. All right. All right, I'm ready to go. If there's anything wrong, please let me know. All right, so I actually just changed my topic recently because this to address the global environmental change issue. So the title is Expressing Indigenous Agency, Orang Asli Music, Stories and Artworks in the Face of Environmental Change. A bit of introduction. Who are the Orang Asli? The Orang Asli are the indigenous minorities of Peninsular Malaysia. They are subdivided into 18 indigenous groups, among them the Semai, the Termier, Semelai, Mahmeri, and so on, as you can see on the map here. Currently, the population of the Orang Asli in 2022 surmounts to 209,575 out of 31.5 million people in Malaysia. So they are quite a minority. The Orang Asli, a usually timid and non-violent group, began to voice their concerns when there was the appropriation of their ancestral lands for development, particularly during the era of industrialization. This began during British colonization of Malaya, where colonies were exploited to produce raw materials for industrial goods such as canned fruit and rubber tires. Development continued after independence, and vast areas of Orang Asli ancestral territories were transformed into cement cities, highways, and airports. Placed under the jurisdiction of the Department of Orang Asli Affairs, JHEOA then, many Orang Asli communities were usually unaware of their impending resettlement, often only realizing it when bulldozers and trucks arrived to tear down the forest near their homes. I give you an example of the Selangor River Dam, which was built in 2003. Selangor is right here, the Selangor Dam, quite near to Kuala Lumpur. In 2001, the Temuan communities of Kampung Putra and Kampung Geraci witnessed bulldozers and trucks tearing down the rainforest they had inhabited for thousands of years. This destruction was carried out to make way for the construction of the Sungai Selangor Dam, which was completed in 2003. This is a picture of the building of the dam. The dam flooded 600 hectares of land and displaced the 2 Temuan villages. The villages were resettled into areas with concrete houses interspersed among oil palm estates. I will first talk about the musician and singer, the late Mak Mina. So one of the earliest Orang Asli to react against this encroachment was the late Mak Mina, a Temuan woman from Kampung Sungai Pertak, Selangor. In 2002, in 2002, she and a group of Malaysian musicians produced an album known as Akar Umbi or Taproot, Songs of the Dragon. The lyrics responded to the massive deforestation for developmental purposes. Among her songs, Kuda Lari or Running Horse warns those who intend to disturb the spirit guardians of the river that some mishap may occur. Kuda Lari is a Temuan nursery rhyme that describes Caesar Ranking's attempt to kill crocodiles, spirits or sacred guardians of the river in 1883. This may have triggered a dam disaster which killed him and flooded the town of Kuala Kubu Baru. It is believed that rivers are guarded by dragons, snakes, and crocodiles, which will cause chaos if their homes are destroyed. So I'll play you a short version of Kuda Lari. So this is a collaboration between local musicians and Mak Mina. So as you can see, the local musicians, local people were also concerned about the plights of the Orang Asli. So in one of the interviews with Mak Mina, she was interviewed and she said, I was interviewed by many reporters and I told them how I felt about seeing our life taken away from us. One reporter asked me, don't you want to see your grandchildren getting a good education, which they can only get when development reaches the rural areas? I replied, all those who cut down the trees and make the hills bare, causing landslides and floods, aren't they educated too? If that's what being educated means, then we Orang Asli don't want to be educated. Strong words. Okay, right. Next, I will move on to another current activist. He's very active now. He's an artist. His name is Shark Koyo, and he's quite international now. So Shark Koyo is an independent Temuan artist who uses his artworks to voice out issues affecting the livelihood of the Orang Asli. His artworks include painting, installation, and performance art. Shark's artworks portray the struggles of the Orang Asli, focusing on issues such as deforestation, land rights, and cultural erosion. His paintings depict distressed indigenous figures who live amidst forest landscapes, symbolizing the impact of the environmental destruction on indigenous communities. Beyond arts, Shark is an outspoken advocate for indigenous rights, participating in exhibitions, talks, and campaigns, both locally and internationally. As you can see from his picture here is a tiger, and he's in the midst of some kind of destroyed forest. So I'll just talk about one of his art. This is the Nightmare of Moyang Bajus. Moyang Bajus is one of the ancestral spirits of the Mahmeri. So the Nightmare of Moyang Bajus relates to the Mahmeri community's land, which has faced consistent threats of deforestation by local and government bodies in the name of development. The Mahmeri live on mangrove forests, and therefore their mangrove forest has been kind of like gradually being destroyed by the government for industrial purposes. So the Mahmeri communities struggle for land to talk about the Mahmeri communities struggle for land speaks to a wider exploitation of the Malaysia's indigenous communities for capital gain. Next, let me just check on timing. Okay, right. So next, I want to talk about a very new group also. They are women, Orang Asli women. Their name, I didn't translate, is Apa Kata Wanita Orang Asli. In English, it's translated as What Says the Orang Asli Women? So in 2018, Aqua began using storytelling through short videos and films to advocate for indigenous rights and environmental issues. So one of their leader, Eliana, who is a Jakun from Kuala Lumpur, says, "If it's not me, who?" It's a statement and not a question. If we don't speak for ourselves, who will speak for us? She says. So this is a group of active late women, Orang Asli now, using filming and video to advocate for their rights. So the group comprised of voices of Orang Asli from various groups, from the Semelai, from the Jakun, Temia, and Temuan. They highlight issues faced by Orang Asli, such as land rights, identity, statelessness, citizenship for their children, rivers running dry, and lack of infrastructure, education, and healthcare. Through social media, they also teach each other about their cultural heritage by using the latest technology to create short videos. So here we have this group teaching the Orang Asli communities on how to create short videos using certain apps. The app they're talking about is Short Cap. Or never, I'll let them explain to you. I'll just play a short video.
Hai, nama Ye Anjang, nama Ye Mune. Korang edit guna aplikasi apa? Kalau saya selalu guna InShot. Sebenarnya ada banyak lagi aplikasi percuma untuk editing video. Selain InShot, ada juga CapCut, Filmora, KineMaster dan banyak lagi. Kalau nak tahu lebih detail, korang boleh je pergi kat Google, dapatkan aplikasi percuma. Hi.
Okay, so the last part I want to talk about is actually about my own projects. So I have been working with the Mahmeri children of Kampung Sungai Bumbun in Clare Island for about 3-4 years now. So I'll just talk a little bit about the project in which I work together with the culture bearers. You can see in the picture here, the culture bearers are Mazna Unyan, to transmit the knowledge of their songs and dances, and at the same time improving the children's 6C skills, which are creativity, communication, critical thinking, collaboration, character, and citizenship skills. So the Mahmeri are located here. They are in Selangor, and they are actually located in the mangrove forest, but 2/3 of the mangrove forest in their land has already been deforested for all palm. So when I started working on workshops with the children, the aim did not specifically involve exposing the young musicians to environmental issues. We began from 2022 to 23, we started to get the children to sing and dance the Main Jo'o. So in short, here is the Main Jo'o. Right, so we also started to play games to show what would happen to the land of the mangrove forest if the mangrove forests were depleted. We did not seriously discuss on environmental issues, but we did talk about the benefits of the mangrove areas to get them to internalize understanding of the songs. So we also played some games to let them keep them informed what would happen if the mangrove forests were depleted. So in the first round, we had them imagine that there was a hurricane and that the animals were rushing to the mangrove areas. And if there are a few mangrove trees, what would happen? And then there are many, many more mangrove trees, what would happen? So this is the first part where there's very few mangrove trees. Okay, this is the second part where there are more, sorry, next one, more trees, more mangrove trees.
3, 2, 1.
Right, so that was it. And then in 2024, we got them to create a popular version of their traditional song, the Song of Jaboy. So to get them to internalize the understanding of the Mahmeri ancestral songs, which was set against the mangrove forest environment, we had one workshop where the musicians learned about how the benefits of the mangrove forest. Sorry, this is actually referring to the previous workshops. Okay, let me just show you the pop version of the traditional song that they created. So throughout the workshops, we did not experience problems with acquiring bamboo musical instruments, especially when we have embarked on teaching the national school. So we actually started to experience problems now with instruments because we started taking the children out to teach some of the students in the national schools how to play their musical instruments. But we found out that we don't have enough bamboo stamping tubes. So, but then we found out that we could not actually get bamboo stamping tubes easily from the island because it doesn't really, the bamboos don't really grow there. The type of bamboos that they needed doesn't really grow on the island anymore. So this is when we actually started experiencing issues on resources. Okay, so, and in 2024, Gali Adam had purchased a bamboo from beyond the village when I asked him to make me a banjing. So the second time that we experienced problem was when I asked Gali whether he could make this instrument for me. And he actually had to purchase the bamboo from somewhere else to make this instrument for me. So we are actually now starting to experience issues on lack of resources. And then we did some short workshops with the children on how to make bamboo stamping tube.
Tangan kiri untuk tangan muzik, alat muzik sebelah kiri, sebelah kanan dengan alat sebelah kiri. Sebelah kiri ni, sebelah kiri lebih banyak pada sebelah kanan. Bezanya sebab tinggi dia macam ni lah.
Okay, so as you can see, the children are actually very interested in social media. They like to do the filming part. So I'll just end with end here to say that perhaps the issues in actually lack of resources are starting to come in during our workshops. So hopefully that this will lead the children to start thinking as we start to develop their critical thinking skills. Hopefully they will ask more questions on environmental issues and we can grow from there on how we can talk to them about environmental changes and how they can actually be local advocates to, manage these issues. All right, thank you very much. That's my presentation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Clare. We will hear, I forgot to mention earlier, we will hear all the three presentations before we engage the speakers in a discussion. Our next speaker is Dr. Chi-Suwichan Phatthanaphraiwan, who is Assistant Professor in the School of Liberal Arts at Mea Phang Luang University in Chiang Rai, Thailand. Dr. Chi is the first of the indigenous Pagas Kanyao, or the Karen people of Thailand, to obtain a PhD and professorship in Thailand. In 2022, Dr. Chi and his wife, Kuewa, a husband and wife team of academic artivists, were in residence at the university or at the East-West Center and the UH Music Department. He served as professor of geocultural management at the Bodhi Vijalaya College in the Sri Nakarinwirot University in Mae Sot. He founded the Karen Eco Museum of Tak Province, and he serves as principal of a demonstration school of Mae Chem, or that's Chiang Mai, where Karen culture is formally infused into the high school curriculum. Please welcome Dr. Chi-Suwichan Phatthanaphraiwan.
Hello everyone. สวัสดีครับผมไม่ใช่เพื่อชูเคลียร์ก็เข้ามาเนี่ยแค่นี้เดินตามมาเพื่อบามันพลาบามาดูบาดูมาเชื่อว่าดูแต่มาบาเดียวโอ้บางคนก็เด็ดเก๋ซาโอ้ First of all, I would like to greet in the Pocoyo indigenous language as my mother tongue language. No? So I would like to share my experience according to the Pocoyo art and music movement for the justice in Thailand. I can say like that. So please allow me to share my screen. So here's okay. So I choose the topic for share with all of you today is according to the music and culture of Pocoyo people as a means to advance indigenous rights and forest-based living in Thailand. So I would like to begin with the highlight three long-standing social myths that have achieved narrative attitude toward indigenous highland community in Thailand. This narrative continues to influence how these groups are perceived by the state and broader society. The first one you can see in the bottom, in the top one, is that indigenous highland people are responsible for the deforestation. The second one you can see here, so that they are involved in the production and trade of illegal drug. No? The third one here, so that they are not truly indigenous, but rather than migrant from other country who have settled on Thailand and therefore are considered outside or non-Thai or the others. No? So this idea have played a major role in the justified discrimination against indigenous groups, particularly in terms of their access to biased rights, such as citizenship, legal recognition, and participation in the management of natural resources. Despite having lived on this land for generations, many indigenous communities continue to be denied recognition as a rightful steward of their ancestral territories. This limits their ability to live according to their traditional knowledge system and sustainable ways of integrating with the environment. As a result, they are often treated as a second-class citizen in Thailand without the same rights or dignity as other in Thai society or as the mainstream or the majority. I show this slide in seek to understand the reality of the forest governance in Thailand beyond prejudice. I examined this series of the forest cover maps, green zone from the Royal Forest Departments. You can see in the left side, in the 1963, over 70% of the country was covered by the forest or the green zone. But later on, by 2024, that figure had dropped to less than 30%. Well, I do not intend a detailed the main cause behind this loss. But I want to draw the attention on to one crucial point. Over 80% of the remaining green zone or green area today are found within indigenous territories, particularly in the north and west regions, where highlight ethnic community, including Peña community or Peña people area have long life. This leads us to fundamental question: who is destroying the forest and who preserve them? We as indigenous people acknowledge that we use the forest, but we use it responsibly. And because of we use this, we must care for it. Because of we care for it, it continue to sustain us. As our ancestors have taught us, eat fish, protect the stream, get the frog, guide the cliff or the cave, plant rice, care for the forest. This philosophy preserved for future generations has allowed us to communities to maintain green cover where others have lost it. But the challenge we now face is how to communicate this reality, our views and life way to the broad society, to the state, and to the policy maker. We seek policies that aligns with our cultural practice and indigenous rights in ways that are just respectful and sustainable. One powerful pathway in truth cultural expression, particularly music and art, which carries the voice, memory, and value of our people. This is the starting point of our endeavor to explore how music and culture of Peña people can serve a means to advance indigenous rights and forest-based living in Thailand. So we begin with our concept to composing indigenous wisdom. That means music as a medium for communicating sustainable forest living among the Peña people. So this initiative begin with a deep ethnographic engagement, studying and learning from the worldview, cultural value, and everyday practice of the Peña people, particularly in relation to sustainable natural resource management, rooted in the ancestral knowledge the Peña have long practice from the forest-based living that is guided by spiritual belief, intergenerational responsibility, and ecology balance. Our project seeks to comply this way of life, the ritual, stories, symbols, and ecological ethic into the series of song and music composition that reflect the community lived realities by drawing the traditional music form and instrument. Our project will translate cultural knowledge into the music language that accessible and emotionally resonant with the broader public. The goal is to challenge the prevailing stereotype that depict indigenous people as a forest destroyer and instead offer a more truthful, respectful, and empowering image, one where indigenous community and are guardian of biodiversity and carrier of sophisticated ecological wisdom. Through music, this project aims to build public understanding, reshape narrative, and support policy dialogue that recognize and respect indigenous rights, especially in relation to land, citizenship, and environmental governance. music as both cultural expression and political voice become tools from reconciliation between mainstream society and indigenous community and step toward environment justice. So we have expect on the audience through the music with two key audience. The first one sometimes I call like external, this mental perception, and auditional. As for the audience who be like an outsider and outside the culture, as a mainstream society, political maker, or general public. No, the music serves as a medium to deconstruct entrenched bias and misconception surrounding indigenous and ethnic community through the melodies, lyric, and narrative roots in life experience. The song provides a new evidence-based understanding of the indigenous life ways, particularly their harmonious relation with the forest and natural ecosystem. By reframing the indigenous people not as a forest destroyer, but sustainable steward of the ancestral land, the approaches aim to shift public attitude in invite deeper engagement with indigenous realistics. It encourages listener to move beyond passive consumption and instead embrace active learning, empathy, and collaboration, fostering a vision of the peaceful coexistence in the truly multicultural society. The second audience is I call like an internal audience, or the audience within the cultural as indigenous and ethnic community members. The music function as a reaffirmation of the cultural identity, dignity, and rights. It encourages community members to stand with confidence in their harmony and then assess their rightful claims, whether relate to land, citizenship, or cultural autonomy. The song helped the revitalize traditional knowledge system, particularly those relate to sustainable resource use, offering both pride and proof to outsiders of a way of life that is not only possible but is profoundly sustainable. At the same time, these cultural expression become a tools for intergenerational learning and adaptive reliance, allowing indigenous community to evolve in dignity, maintaining their dignity while engaging constructively with the diverse and changing society. It's positioning cultural vitality as a central to community development and environment justice. Strategic of our vision, we drawing on the wisdom of the Peña philosophy that mentioned about one bamboo cannot be wrapped, one grain of rice cannot make whiskey, one person alone cannot change the society. So these initiative embrace collaborative action as a cornerstone of the cultural communication and social transformation. So the effectively use music as a media for fostering understanding, dismantling prejudice, and advising indigenous rights. The strategy must be grounded in both inclusive partnership across multiple levels. So the first level, so we intra-community collaboration engage musicians and cultural barrier within the same indigenous groups. No, the second one is like we call inter-ethnic solidarity. So forming alliance with the musicians from other indigenous or ethnic community to reflect, share struggle, drive wisdom and unity in our cultural reliance. The third level is a national level engagement, partnering with the well-known musician or and cultural figure across Thailand to amplify the message to mainstream audience and lends visibility in the public discourse. And then I can say like the highest level is like a transnational connection, linking with the international musician, indigenous rights advocates, and cultural network to broad reach, share solidarity across the border to positioning to the movements within global conversation on climate justice, indigenous sovereignty, and cultural rights, such as a multi-level coalition will open diverse communication channel, reach while ranking audience and generate collaborative impact. One powerful enough into the influence not only public understanding but is also policy discourse. Music become more than artistic expression. It become a movement, share collaboration and transformative as well. And the anticipates the social impact of the music-based cultural communication. This use of the music as a tool for communicating indigenous rights and sustainable forest living practice is impact to generate the following transformative outcome. As first, amplify ethnic voice in Thai society. Second is expand platform for cultural dialogue. Third one is a deeper public engagement with the message. This one is a listener will not only enjoy the music, but also deeply engage with the contents and the meaning behind it. Our performance or our movement invites the audience to emotionally and intellectually connect with the value and realities of indigenous community, leading to greater empathy and informed understanding. The fourth one, empower the cultural confidence among indigenous youth. So because of this kind of image or of activity, the music become mirror, reflect back pride or strength. Youth indigenous people are inspired to reclaim and express their identity through music. Tribal music are reimagined as a form of modern coolness. The cultural tends to reframe heritage. Not engaging with one cultural music may have even been seen as a outdated or uncool. The last one is a cross sectoral alliance to the combat ethnic bias. Then the unique roles of IP music play in the realms in the environmental activities as in the slides. The first one you can see like the first one is like firstly it has the ability to work emotional and connect with the people on deeper level. Second one, moreover, music has a potential to reach a wide audience across different culture and demographics. Additionally, music itself can reflect the beauty, vulnerability of the cultural and natural worlds. Lastly, music has a unique ability to unite the people. So that's mean more than play and sing approach to engage wider audience to discussion about the cultural and environment issue. And the I would like to give some example contents from the Putra poetry that we bring into our music now. As a Putra point tradition, roots and aphorisms, metaphor, or oral wisdom serve as a powerful media for the communicating indigenous perspective to climate change or environment justice. This is a poetry from to do not merely describe nature. They are reveal how structural force have reshape the relationship between indigenous people and the ancestral landscape. For example, like the first one, the big snake will come to our community and swallow our children. Like the story of the white chicken will break our traditional seeds and replace traditional chicken. As the giant will more grass than suck our soul and spirit, or the big storm will blowing everything away from our society. So we as indigenous people are not asking to be left behind. We are asking to be understood. We seek solidarity from the broader society to protect, support, and collaborate in the sustain share feature that honor both cultural integrity and ecological balance. So when we show about this, we invite the public to co-manage with us to protect, to become survive together in the Ching society world. It's not only indigenous issue, so that is been like a public issue. In the conclusion, I would like to conclude with the key factor that shape the social power of indigenous art. So all forms of art, especially those rooted in indigenous knowledge and life way, carry the potential to inspire collective action and challenge entrenched bias about people who living with the forest in the context of the Putra movements. Several key elements make artistic expression an effective tool for shifting perceptions as follow. First, the accessible and grounded message. No, the content must be clear and rooted in life experience. The message should use language that emotionally resonate and easy to understand with metaphor and image that reflect everyday life. Overly abstract or academic message reach a lasting broader audience. The second one is appropriate performance space. The space in which the art is shared must align with the message. It should avoid being overly commercialized or purely entertainment forcing, while also steering clear of being over academic or inaccessible. Shape that the culturally sensitive and community connected create the meaningful context for dialogue. The third one, authenticity and the embodied practice. So the perform or the message must embody the message into the real life. When artists eat what they sell and live what they sing. This is important to prove that we are not only sing, we are not only advocate, but in our real life or in the how to say it, the artist life or musician life, we are also practice what we promote. So This is a building the trust. This is a line between the word and deed, between art and life, serve as a tangible proof of the value being communicated. The community and also the community itself must be an example of the practice to promote or to prove the message that we send as well. And then the last one is aesthetic and emotional resonance. So this is the conclusion for my presentation to share with all of you. And if you come up with some question, we can discuss afterwards. Thank you for attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chi. Before we hear the last speaker, in case you have any questions, you may submit it in the Q&A function below. Please, I ask you to indicate the speaker, if you're addressing a specific speaker or if you're addressing all of the speakers. We will do that after we have heard the last speaker for today, who is Dewa Putu Berata, founder and director of Gamelan Cudamani in Ubud, Bali. He is a graduate of STSI Denpasar, which is Bali's National Academy of the Arts. Born and raised in the village of Pengosekan and the son of a great drummer, Berata was immersed in Balinese performing arts from birth. His creative talents, teaching abilities, and leadership qualities make him a noted figure in the Balinese music world. He is renowned for his compositional skills in both traditional and innovative styles, and a rare ability to communicate a diverse knowledge of Balinese arts to both Balinese and international artists. He has led Cudamani on tours to Arts Midwest 2012-2013, Jazz at Lincoln Center in New York, the World Festival of Sacred Music in LA, Cultural Olympiad in Greece, Expo Japan, and the Tong Tong Festival held in Holland. As a result of Berata's vision and commitment, Cudamani has become an important artistic center and an activist community that responds to the philosophical, practical, and problematic issues that face Balinese artists today. Berata also frequently serves as the music director for the USA Bay Area-based Gamelan Sekarjaya. Please welcome Dewa Putu Berata.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dewa Putu Berata. I will talk about our belief in Bali, how to take care our nature. We in Bali have a concept we call Trihitakarana, spirituality, community, and environment. Yeah, of course, I'm founding of Sangat Seni Cudamani, where I teach a lot of the kids, teenagers, even adults, for the music and dance and singing.
Also, hi, sorry, I'm Fatma's daughter. I'm
sorry.
I'm his tech support today, so don't mind me.
Yeah, plus spirituality and community and improvement. There's three foundation in Bali. We use to protect our nature.
Sorry.
Next, spirituality. We believe in God, deities, spirituality, and ancestor. Now, like you see in this picture, a lot of shrine here, and also sacred object, mask, everything that, of course, we build from the nature, from the wood, from the stone, and make secret, and in the temple, and we put in the temple. Yeah. The sacred object here, the mask, we call sesunan. We believe is to to protect us, protect the people, protect the village, protect the nature. And here, the sacred mass, of course, made by special wood and special ceremony to make this sacred. And always there, when we perform, tell story about the god, about ancestor, even about the nature. In that case, we call ngaya. Yeah, to give without anything in return. This means we give our talent, our physique, our energy, our spirit to the god. And we have offering here, like you see, a lot of fruit, flowers, also that like also remain us to protect our plan, our land, our nature. Yeah, after that we have a community. Yeah, of course the family, parent, brother, sister, and friend. Yeah, you can see here everything we do it here with the community, like ceremony, family, and music and dance. Yeah, here we talk a little bit about the organization. Traditional, we call Banyar. This is has a responsibility, of course, relationship with people, like I said, with the God, relationship between people, and also for the nature. Everything we will do it. We decide we have to talk all the member of the Banyar. For example, like here we can see the activity of the cremation. This the most hard work for the Banyar community. The Banyar, the member of the Banyar will help us for the ceremony, like wedding ceremony, tooth filing ceremony, and there's a cremation. It's the biggest one and the most important one. Nah, art here, sangat Cudamani, multi generation. We have a concept gotong royong, this working together. This year, of course, we create a lot of things, like for example, like costume. When we teaching, we doing together, the senior teaching the junior, like that. And also, of course, from the planning until we execute, we always talking about what we're gonna do, why we do that, what important for the kid, what important for teenager. After that, I move to improvement relationship with earth. We call Ibu Pertiwi, plant and animal. Now here, for the environment, we have organization we call SUBA. Yeah, SUBA is agriculture organization. This take care about the water. This one system here, and also what they will plant. Yeah, this in traditional way. Of course, now a lot of change. Of course, in my area in Ubud, this like the destination of the tourists. They said number one even in Asia. So make my area is full of tourists. Is in my opinion is not very good. In my opinion, because traffic every day in the front of my house, and now more and they build restaurant, what
Hotel.
villa, hotel, bungalow, and even the worst one, the lately is they by we call hidden city in my village. It's a big, they take big area. Maybe you can explain a little bit about that. Yeah, yeah. This I think will be not good for my village. Next, earth is sacred. That's what we believe. Everything in Bali sacred. Like tree, like you see here, we love the tree and we put decorate here. This symbols this tree is as a spirit, as a we call tingat is sacred. Yeah. So we have a ceremony for the trees. We call that Tumpa Uduh. Every 210 days we call Tumpa Uduh as a ceremony for the tree. We thanks the God for the tree because help us to give us fruit, give us flowers and wood, for example. Yeah. And red ceremonies per animal we call Tumbak Kanang because the animal is helping us. Helping us like walk in the rice pail like that. Yeah.
Like the cows.
Yeah, like this cows. Yeah. Yeah, now water. Also, again, water is sacred. We call tirta. Yeah, for example, like spring water. I tell it a bit when I kid. Every time I go to spring water, I make offering even just a lip. Yeah, they like accused to get accused. So we get a clean in our spirit, in our body. So accuse there to us accuse we use the water like that. So until of course now it's different story again because everyone has a shower at home. So yeah, change a lot, and for me in a negative way for the river and spring water. Yeah. So sorry. Yeah. Also connect with the ancestor. Here, I see you picture in the beach. After cremation, the ash we bring to the ocean to purify the spirit, the soul, and after that we take again the spirit to our home temple. So in Bali, every home has a temple. After that, every village again have a temple. So in my village, we have 8 temple plus my house temple. So
I think we have a lot.
Yeah, a lot. We have 9 temple at least.
We have a lot in our village.
Yeah, in our village. But the good thing is every temple has a own sacred mask. So we create a lot of art from there. Yeah.
And this is, sorry, just background. These photos were taken when my dad and my mom went to the ocean after my grandfather passed away. So they took my grandfather's ashes to the ocean, did a purification ceremony, and then brought him back to the family home. So that's where these images are from.
Yeah. For example, this one is we call barongket, the creature like dragon. Some people said lion. Yeah, maybe we can hear a little bit and go watch a little bit here. Very short. Yeah, but this barong, this we have relationship with the God, of course, because sacred, and this barong is symbolizes the spirit of the wood. We call banaspati. That's the spirit of the wood. So when we pan the wood is have a like we call milk pregnant like that. So pregnant. So the wood again we call pule, the special wood pregnant. We take that to create that creature to the barong cat. So that's why this barong become a very sacred in many way. I mean, like has a ceremony from you cut the wood, after that start making carving it, everything, putting together, painting everything. When they're done, we go to that wood again to make a light. We call pasupati. That ceremony. A lot of part of the ceremony until this become a sacred. And this in my village, that was my group playing. Yeah, this Bali's today population of tourism and loss of land. Yeah, like you see, I think the topic here is this in Ubud in my area. This I think in Kuta, Short Bali. So maybe you see here Hidden City, Ubud, Sales Department. This was in my village. My village is very small village, about 3 by 2 kilometers. It's very small village, about 1,500 population. But I'm trying protest this, and this become popular, not popular, and viral.
Oh yeah, it gained a lot of traction. There were a lot of news. There were articles written about the kind of protests that we had done for locals, but it was difficult to go up against this because their funding came from Russian investors and they had a lot of money and a lot of power and a lot of sway and clearly took up a lot of land, as you can see at the bottom. That's a huge amount of land, and they're going to do it in 3 stages, and each stage is going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. And for them, a big selling point was, oh, we're going to employ a lot of Balinese people. We're going to employ people in the village. This will make a lot of money. This will encourage tourism in the area. And the problem isn't that we want tourism, is that it's that there is already over tourism in our area. The traffic is really bad and there's really bad pollution and so many trees have already been cut down. We've lost a lot of land, but they still will come in and do projects as big as this. This is as big as our village, basically. And the challenge is not only foreign investors, it's also local people who allow this to happen. So not only were local protesters going up against big Russian investors with big lawyers and a lot of money, and Jakarta investors as well, we were also going up against people who had sold their land or had rented the land to these Russian investors for 100 years, right? And so that has been a big challenge, and it's still it's a continuing ongoing challenge, and I don't think we're going to win this one, but there is a lot of protest happening for this specific project, but also there are a lot of projects like this happening in Bali.
Yeah.
And even in Ubud, there are at least 3 of these happening. Ubud's not that big. It's like smaller than LA County, and there are 3 of these huge, massive projects happening simultaneously on top of the already existing villas, hotels, restaurants, and everything else.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was just a little bit of a spiel of what was going on, but the tourism that you see, the traffic that you see, these are all very recent images. So it's been startling, to say the least.
Yeah, in the picture, how do we move forward to respect nature, and how do we change? Yeah, like I'm as a artist, composer like that. I try teach the kids how to respect the nature by playing music, for example. I always tell them what the mean is the music. Like gamelan, for example, if you see here, like this, we call gamelan and samal. We have a gong, we have a drum, we have a metalopon. This all is come, of course, from the nature, from the tree, from the animal. This guys, mengorbankan diri,
Like a sacrifice.
sacrifice the, of course, the serve for the gamelan, like for example, like that. And we try to create a piece like you see here, the bird. I try to create the small bird get a attack from the human being. Maybe they catch it and they pelihara di rumah.
Like have as pets at home. So it would
Yeah.
be capturing these birds in the wild and having them as pets.
Yeah, but today even most very sad for me, because a lot of people shoot them. Yeah, berburu.
Oh yeah, hunting birds.
And bird for fun.
Yeah, and also the
It's
loss of
not
land.
for food again.
Yeah, and the loss
Yeah.
of home for the birds and animals too.
Yeah, for example, and here we create the legong, then very famous form. We call legong, female then. We call pertiwi in the time. This story, this legong,
Pertiwi means Mother Earth.
Mother Earth, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell about if there is not balance between we as a people and the nature, there's some trouble gonna coming. Yeah, I like that.
And this piece, sorry, real quick. So in the top, the bird piece, my dad and I collaborated on it, and that was for temple ceremonies. So it often is performed in a lot of different communities. When we perform in different communities, we often bring this dance and perform it for that community there, which also helps raise awareness and discussion about this in different local communities. And then in contrast, the Legong Pertiwi at the bottom was a Legong we took on tour in 2018. So that one we performed across the US. Yeah.
Yeah. That one thing, I mean, my group is the adults group, professional group. Every time we have a rehearsal, right now we have a rehearsal on Wednesday and Sunday. So every time before rehearsal, we talk a lot about what the situation in our village or in Bali in general, like for example, like Hadan City, or what we can do to protect it. A lot of now young generation, like you see here,
and on the right,
and the right here, they worry about our nature in Bali, our land. But in other side, also they worry about how they live, because they need job. They need job. Yeah, that what apa istilahnya, conflict there. But I answer that with like I create like this, like make a performance and good also. And until today, the performance in Bali in many form is a lot of philosophy there. They tell a lot of philosophy, talk a lot about what I mentioned you before, Trihita Karana, and try to grab young people, kid attention. Even the very challenge today is very challenge of everyone. I think no, the kid now have like phone like this and again they have and also one thing they also have a room, not like when I kid in 70, all of us still sleep together and always talking with my grandmother, grandfather, but not now. Very hard now. That's the challenge today. But when they come to my place, to the Sangar, to Cudamani, I see them love to being together and talking and playing. They even come 1 hour earlier because the Sangar in my house, so fellowship there. They come a lot 1 hour earlier. after that, after class, and they still stay in house. Then they playing, create this. That one thing I can do to help the kid understand what means today life and what happened in the future. Yeah. Please stay in touch. That my information, you can send me email or
Say it,
apa.
yeah.
Matur suksemo in Balinese. Matur suksemo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pa Berata and Ayu. Thank you very much for that. We now proceed to the discussion. I ask all the participants to post their questions in the Q&A button right below. Before that, I will just address the speakers with one question. I wrote my question in a slide, so here it is. Okay, give me a minute, please. Sorry, I cannot project it. And anyway, here's the question, and it's also, here we go. It's for the speakers. I also jotted it down in the chat, so you can look at it there. So your work focuses on how the arts, especially music and performance, can drive environmental. Oops, am I? Sorry about that. I'm having difficulty with my screen. Let me say that again. Your work focuses on how the arts, especially music and performance, can drive environmental and social change. In your experience, what unique qualities or functions of traditional arts make them particularly effective for raising awareness about environmental issues and their effects on communities? Additionally, how do these artistic approaches compare to or work alongside other forms of activism, conservation efforts, or community development programs in your area? May I ask Dr. Clare to respond, followed by Dr. Chi and Berata. I will stop share.
Maybe someone else can start first. Maybe it can trigger
Sure.
some idea. Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Chi, you mentioned already a bit of this in the properties of music. Maybe you
Yeah.
can.
Okay. So thank you for this question or challenge. No? In responses to the environmental change and socio-economic pressure, our Peña community has turned to what we call living music. No? Living music and revival of traditional poetic form, metaphor, and musical instruments as a tool for climate storytelling and cultural resistance. One specific innovation in the transformation of our ancestral aphorism, such as one bamboo cannot be wrapped, one grain of rice cannot become a whiskey, and one person cannot change the society into the contemporary music that is performed not just on the stage, but right in the rice field, village, temple, and even protest space. So this is not just about the preserving culture. It is about the reclaim of voice. Youth now compose and perform songs that link forest wisdom with the current struggle, turning music into the platform for asserting land rights. Critiquing extractive policies and showing how indigenous life is not backward but forward thinking. It is inspired both insider and outsider. For us, music is not an escape. But it is as a music is as an agency. So the most importantly, we sing what we live. We sing what we live, or we sing what we live, our life. No, the performer are also a farmer. So like musician, also farmer. Sometimes I call myself as a activist. So I'm not be as a academic, as a professor in university, but also I'm also be an artist, and I'm also be like activist, and also be like a villager. I also be as a farmer. So we also be as a forest defender. We also be as a knowledge keeper. That where the trust and power come from. So it's the trust in me, in us, because of it not because of our be artist or performer or musician, but they trust in us because we are be like practitioner. So this is the important, I think the important factor or condition that to make the people listen to us and then try to follow us. So they follow us. What we post, they say that, okay, if this guy posts this one, I trust. Something, or if this guy compose this kind of music, we trust. Or because we practice in our real life. So it doesn't mean we sing and then we act and how do you say it, opposite to what we sing. So this is I think the music is become more powerful if we practice as we perform or as we play. If respond to your question, I think this is the main point or the key point that make the music can, how to say, address to environments issue. So if you would like to see the concrete example that appear in my song, you can follow me to my communities, and you will see the reality that what I present, or what the message that I give to that. So it's make the music is have more powerful, and then it's make the people trust more in the music, and then sometimes they also challenge us, and then where the music can invite the people and open the space for dialogue, and then they can follow us to our community, or they can talk with us more and more. That can change not only the attitude of the people, but change the views and change the, how to say it. It's build more connection and trust in the society. Something like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chi. So it's not just music in particular, but really the role of the musician, the artist, in connecting with the community. May I ask the other two speakers who would want to address this question before we have a couple of questions in? Berata, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. To answer this question, first I will introduce about gamelan. Gamelan itself is mean as work together, because the gamelan instrument shop has a partner. For example, the gong is we call gong lanang, gong wadon. This means female and male. Also, the drum we has a male and female drum. We call gangsas. Maybe you can so like this, yeah. Also has we call ngumang and ngisap, exhale and inhale. For example, like that. Not example. That was a gamelan. And when we playing, also we have a interlocking between one player and another player, and also in the drum, also like that. Yeah. Yeah. Also, that's mean we always work together. In that case, we have to make ourselves in same mood, in same feeling, because in Bali we don't have a steady tempo. The tempo is like the wave. Fast, slow down suddenly, like controlled by the drummer. We don't have the conductor, but the drummer was control the tempo, the dynamic. Now, what the relationship with the nature? in my experience, when the kid or teenager study gamelan, they need time. They always talk about their feeling. They have to be work together. There is not one higher, one lower. No, everything has a function. Everything have a character. For example, like the gong. There's they're playing maybe 16-bit one time or 8-bit one time or 64 one time, 800 something one time, but has a very big responsibility, for example, like that. So everyone has a own responsibility, but we need work together to make that harmonious. Now, I talk with them a lot. This is a symbol like our life, our nature, our words. Everyone has own character. Everyone has a own job. So to create something balance, harmonious, yeah, like that. So we teach them to mengasah hati, seperti
Cara merendahkan hati.
memperbaiki hati supaya halus, supaya tidak menjadi orang. Yeah.
Oh, to become kind of more patient and more accepting in terms of your heart, to be able to accept and love other people so that you can work together and become part of a whole and become part of the balance.
Yeah, because when you're playing music, you cannot how to say when you playing music, you be able to sharing your even anger in the right place, for example, like that. So relationship with the nature are the same like that. So if you can cut the tree, of course, but for what? To use as the important thing for your life, for example, like that. Yeah, that I think the process hurt the musician in their heart. They has to believe we have to work together, create something together, not just between people and the nature, between people with animal, like that. So we have to work together, like that. The symbolism.
Thank you. Very well said. Dr. Clare, you have a response?
Let's keep it short because maybe we can get questions from the floor. I'm just quite amazed at the intrigue, it's the very deep philosophy embedded in Balinese and Thai music. I'm sure there's a lot in Orang Asli. It's just that there is there's some issues about speaking about them, because I think the Orang Asli, they are quite used to be very timid and not very vocal about their beliefs. And also maybe there's this long process of colonization where the British actually placed them under the care of the Department of Orang Asli Affairs, which and they were looked as people that needed to be protected and people that didn't have voice. So I think that issue could have kind of like caused them not to be able to speak up that vocally so much. And only recently now I do see young people starting to come up and starting to vocalize and through social media. And I hope that probably these young people can actually bond with the elder generation to reconnect back this deep knowledge that they have in the songs and in all their rituals. And also there's this problem of this disconnection between the younger people and the older generation because of the school. They were disconnected from the older generation because they were going to schools, and then they were not learning from their ancestors, their elders anymore. I hope to see this coming up, and probably maybe I could actually, try to revive this kind of thing. Yeah. Sorry, I can't get very far from this on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. We have several questions. I don't know how much time we have left. Here's one, of course, from Ric Trimillos. Thanks to all three speakers for sharing. A common theme for all three is the conservation of resources. Clare alluded to a shortage of materials for instrumental building. Chi spoke principally about conservation of human resources, and Dewa alluded to the conservation of the sacred and the challenge of the hidden cities. It is great to have this wide variety of themes. Could each of you comment on how the other kinds of conservation are relevant to your case? For example, Clare, is there a conservation of the sacred? Chi, is there a challenge of materials for making instruments? And Dewa, is there a shortage of human resources or material resources in Bali? The speakers may address this. You can look at the Q&A button to refresh yourself with the questions. Who wants to go first? So there are specific questions for each of you. Maybe we can ask Dr. Chi. Is there a challenge of materials for making instruments? The question from Dr. Trimillos.
Yeah, so I think this question is also like the current challenge in our communities or in the indigenous people. Actually, our instrument, our music instrument is produced from the natural resource. No? It's like from the wood, from the real resource, like bamboo or something like that. But you know, when we lack of rights to access the natural resource in our community, sometimes our culture is become too illegal because of our forest is covered by the forest law. So that is mean we cannot access that forest as before. So our secret tree or our music instrument trees is become too illegal. It become too forbidden to access it. So this is a kind of a challenge. So we know that area, we have some music instrument plant there, but we cannot touch, we cannot reach, we cannot get it because of the law. So if we cut it, we get it. If we become too illegal. It's become so like our forest, our ancestral forest, our traditional forest is become to illegal forest. So that's mean our culture also become to illegal culture. So our instruments, our materials, natural material of the music is become to illegal as well. So how to get the material to produce our music instruments? So sometimes we try to solve this problem that we replace our natural materials to the how to say it, a new material such as we need like a bamboo. Now we replace with like a plastic pipe, but the sound is not the same. You know, it's not the same. It cannot touch our feeling, our spirit. So when we play, it's like we play material. We are not playing music instrument. So we play material. We are not playing the music. So this is the challenge that we cannot access natural resource to produce our traditional music, or we cannot use our traditional knowledge to produce the natural resource to produce our music. So the music as a culture, the culture as a knowledge, the knowledge as a life. So this is like the law is cut or kill our knowledge to produce the music, to access the material of music instruments. So this is the situation that we face is our society or our culture. This is we try to how to say it, negotiate. We try to fight for the right to access to the traditional forest that we protect so far. That is the challenge in our communities.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm afraid we are out of time. I will ask the speakers to please look at the questions in the Q&A button and respond. Just type your answers to our participants there. We have 3 more, I think, questions there. There's one also in the chat. I turn you over now to the Center for Southeast Asian Studies to close this webinar.
Sorry, I'm not able to turn my video on. I don't know what's happened. There we go. Oh, thank you so much for the time and sharing your knowledge, everything that you've put into this presentation for us. I know that the remaining questions, we would love to be able to share your input with our attendees through email. So if you wouldn't mind taking note of the questions that remain, we can send out an email to everybody and send your answers if that would be okay. This is the very last Luce webinar for our spring semester, and as Pia said, we'll start up our series again in September. So thank you so much, Verne, for moderating for us, Dewa for attending with assistance of IU's input too. We appreciate both of you there. Clare, thank you for being awake in the morning and from Malaysia, and Chi, thank you so much for tuning in with us from Thailand. If you could take a moment and answer or respond to the survey, I believe the survey link is in the chat. And please do sign up for our newsletter so you can see what activities and upcoming events we have. We do a lot that is hybrid so that we can include everybody in Southeast Asia and Hawaii, as well as in the continental USA. So thank you so much for your time. We wish you a very good summer. We wish you beneficial activities that advocate for your traditions and hope that you get positive results. Please stay safe. Thank you so much. Panelists, please stay on for a minute.